Hi, my name is Bill Katra. I'm in a place in Mexico, kind of near Mexico City, and seeing right over there we have the big volcano, El Popocatépetl. But I want to talk with you about baños secos. That's what we call them in Spanish. I would call it a dry toilet, or a dry composting toilet, something that I personally designed and I made right here in this house, and I want to show you what I did. It's been functioning now 20 years and it's still working, and it's everybody in the family prefers to use my baño seco, my dry composting toilet, over anything else they have. Now, one of the principal things that you have to realize is I'm sitting on top of what we call una ceja. You can see the construction of the building. We have almost a meter here, almost 3 feet of the roof overhanging, and that was very, very important for the construction of this dry toilet. Now I'm going to take you to the toilet and show you how I did it. Well, here we are. This is the house we built. We're on the 2nd floor, and this is my room. Right here, okay? And it's a beautiful room. We have California windows, but here, right next to the opening of the room here on my right side, we have the bathroom that I made. So let's go a little bit closer. We have El Baño Seco, and I'm going to show you in just a minute. So right now, it's just in the perfect location right next to the bedroom, and we have the bathroom where I installed on the 2nd floor a completely dry, waterless bathroom. Okay. We are inside the bathroom right now, and right now you see El Baño Seco. Now this is something that the actual, it's made of ceramic or cement, and I was very lucky. I bought it in a nearby town of Tepoztlan. There was a small an artisan who made it, and it's very hard to obtain these anymore, and in a moment I'll show you why it's so special. But here I want you to understand something. Here, this wall is made good, because this wall is directly over the wall underneath, so it's well supported. But this is over la ceja, the part that overhangs down below, and that's very important because I had to make a hole through the cement, and boy, I busted my butt making that hole in order to afterwards mount the actual toilet. Well, here it is, and I have just covered it here. You know, you don't want flies to get in it, but here, just a moment, we'll show you this. And right next to it, by the way, we have the dirt. We used either dirt or a combination of ashes to put over this. And so here's where I made the hole, and underneath, and I'll show you in a moment what I have underneath. Now, right here, this is very important because another incredibly important thing about this waterless toilet is there's a separation. The urine goes down here, and I'll show you how it's connected, and then the hard stuff falls down into the receptacle we have down at the very bottom. And so after somebody, either a male or a female, and don't have little kids do this because they screw it up and they'll block it up. And so after you do your poop, you put your hand inside here, grab a handful of dirt, and just sprinkle it over what fell down there. And by the way, there's no smell, or there's very, very little smell. And of course, I might take at the end of the day a little bit of water here and put it in where the urine goes down, because it's the urine that's going to smell. It's not the hard stuff. It'll be covered with my combination of dirt and ashes. Well, here we are under the house, at the back of the house. Now, if you look up, you can see La Ceja, and you can see where I have positioned this box that I made. Now, I made it of treated plywood, and I've hung it on the outside of the house here. This is very important. It has to be treated because the insects are pretty fierce here. They eat any type of wood. So now let's just go to the other side of this box, and I'll show you a little bit more. Now you see the box from the other side, and look, I made it so that we can open it and close it, and hopefully no insects are getting in. And so I open it, and what do we see? It's one of the stoutest of garbage cans that I was able to buy either here in the United States, and that's all. And this is the receptacle for the hard stuff, the poop that falls down. And about 3 or 4 times a year, we just have to slide it out and take it over to the field right next door and dump it out at the roots of the nopal that's growing right here. Now, the other thing here is, of course, it closes up during the year, and here I'm just going to show you the urine. This hose attaches to the part of the urine, and the urine comes down, remember, independently. The urine never should be mixed with the poop. Now, the urine offers special problems. Here is, of course, the hose coming down, and right now we have it hooked up, about once every 2 weeks. We have to take this over and empty it out. This is where we collect the urine. But initially, about 20 years ago, I had built a chamber underneath the ground. Remember, the urine only smells if it's in contact with the air. So initially, I had this connected going underground, about 2 feet underground. I made a chamber where the urine would go, and it would be absorbed by the dirt. And the important thing is the urine should never have contact with the air, because then you would have that obnoxious smell. Okay, I've shown you what I have done. Now you want to make something yourself. You might not be able to buy that type of already made toilet thing with the 2 divisions. So what would you do? Well, here's what I would do. I would go down anywhere in the United States or in Mexico and buy something like this, pretty sturdy made and just about the right height to sit down. What I would do is I would get a piece of plywood and cut it out and make the hole in the middle. I would buy a regular toilet seat, and I would have it screwed onto the top of the plywood. And now we have to somehow take into account where the urine is going to go. Well, my friend Hobby has given me some of these bottles. We can cut it. Somehow I'm going to have to use this and make it the chamber for the urine down here. And here we have all these different possibilities of how to cut it. And look at here, I can even have it a place where I can screw on my connection to connect the hose, and somehow I would have, of course, the hose is on the inside. The type of dry toilet I made in the United States a month ago, I had to make a hole here for the hose to go out, and it goes out and then it comes down and goes into the ground. And so there are different ideas. I was thinking this is not too stable. If you were sitting down and it moved a little bit, that might not be the best idea. But why not filling half of it with sand? And instead of putting, our mixture of dirt and ashes on top, why not just take a stick and move it to cover with the poop that you just left, and you eliminate totally the problem. So this is what I would suggest if you want to make your own dry, waterless toilet. Good. I want to show you 3 models of very inexpensive waterless toilets that I have made. And here, this is one that's been in actual use for the last couple months. And you see right here the plastic, and I have attached for capturing the urine. And you might see right now I've just played with different models for the urine to go into a hole I have made in the ground, and it has to be a spacious hole to absorb enough urine at one time. And so I have made this toilet seat. It's fastened here. These are made so that this will not slide on top of and this is a very light model, and so basically here it's something which is mainly pretty acceptable to most people. What we have done here is we have a little bit of cal, and every time somebody takes a poop, they just sprinkle it on top, and most of the smell goes away. Okay, so this is one of the 3 models I will show you. Well, in the United States here, some of the materials for this waterless toilet are readily at hand. For example, just looking around my house, I find this, which is sturdy plastic, and it's just the right height, which is important. Or look what I found too. This might even be better because it's wider and therefore it'll be more sturdy. And look what I found on the top of it. Look, I found this old counter, and I can cut it out to the shape I need. It'll be round, or, and heavens, this same piece might even work for two different toilets that I'm going to be making. And of course, I want something of incredibly low cost and ease. For $5, I buy a toilet seat that I'm going to be using. For $6, look, I bought a perfect funnel. Of course, look how it'll fit into here. I can bolt it to the inside, and this is going to capture the urine, of course. And look, I will have an easy way to attach it, for example, to a hose. Or I can buy a somewhat cheaper funnel that it'll only cost $3, and using my torch, I'll be able to shape it permanently in the shape that I want, so that it'll go permanently against the inside of my tub. And so our objective is to make something very easy to use, quite inexpensive to make, and something that is going to last. Okay, you saw the materials that I had purchased at a low price just yesterday, and so yesterday afternoon I only worked about 2.5 hours, and here is what I have. I have been able to bend permanently this funnel that I bought at one store, and I have yet to do the connection down at the bottom. In the other one, it turned out very good. Look, I was able to take this funnel and bend it and fasten it and stick out the end, and now all I'm going to have to do is take a hose and stick it on and tighten this, and it'll run out to where it has to run out. And I have worked here on the tops. I have found an old countertop that might be really kind of nice, having this type of surface on the top. I'll take some sandpaper and sand that. And of course, this goes right here on top. And I was thinking, this is very small. I guess this model would involve taking one bag of ready mixed cement and putting it around the bottom.
We're just finishing now, but what do we do with all the waste? Okay, first of all, Javi and I have just walked only 30 seconds away from the house, and here in the background is the nopal. And by the way, you know, all of that, the hard stuff, the poop that has now turned to dirt, you take it take out 2 or 3 or 4 times a year. You take out the garbage can filled with now dirt, and you bring it over here, and it's wonderful fertilizer, and it's safe fertilizer, because there's all of the dangers of poop have disappeared because of the dry climate, and so you just put it here as fertilizer. And the urine too, we take this thing full of urine, and by the way, urine is full of nitrogen, and we can just put it to the roots of the plants here, and a little bit of research might have to be done to make sure that urine is totally safe. Maybe we're going to have to wait a little bit in order to put it here to the roots of our plants, which produce food for the people here. Thank you very much for being here, listening to me, and I hope you've learned something. It's been my pleasure to communicate to you my experience, personal experience here with dry composting waterless toilets.